Good morning everybody, and this is your Forex day trade setups for today. So if you missed my video yesterday on how I trade and what my actual strategy is, you'll see there's a change to the charts this morning, but I'll link to that video in the comments below, so I'll just pin it as a comment, and you can click it there after watching the review for this morning. But essentially there are a few things on the cards right now. Sitting on the 8 hour, we have gapped down and we've come back to test the 155 moving average here. Okay, so that is our first level. You can see if you look left, it coincides with this level here. Okay, this tail here is not a level. The next level on the 8 hour is pretty much down there, unless we have something to the left, which we probably do, but it's going to be very far in the past. There we go. So there's another swing low there, and if you look a little bit further, there's a swing high there on that level. So this level of 127.94 is fairly key, obviously. So coming down to the hour, before we get there, you can see we don't have a crossover yet, so technically the trend is still up, but it is starting to look a little bit worrisome. So a retest of these upper areas here would be opportunities for a short. So that's 121.343. So moving down to the 1 hour, that's the level we want to trade off. You can see we don't want to be going short here. There is a little bit of a level here, but there's not much structure there. Look at that. That looks far more interesting up there. So we're waiting for a pullback. Trend is currently down. You can see it was confirmed there and reconfirmed there on the retest of the 155 moving average, and we are moving down. This is parabolic at the moment. Grouping at the downside here is telling me not to be short. We are playing with a level, and that level is 127.94. So one of two things: we're either going to head sideways here or move back up. I would prefer a move back up, so that's somewhere to 121.140 and alternatively 121.343 for another move to the downside. We break through those levels, we find support there, then you probably find structure forming for a continuation to the upside. So that's kind of the view that we have there. Bear in mind it is earnings season that kicks off today, so that could impact the dollar as well. Okay, moving on to US dollar, Japanese yen. So you can see we have had a crossover here on the 8 hour. Look at my moving average, my stochastics. You can see, as I said yesterday in the video, when you get a crossover that's far apart, I don't like this structure. I prefer a solid cross and then turning, coming straight up. Let me just see if I can find something. Nothing recent, so just bear with me. I'll point it out if I see it shortly. A couple of things here. So we have some structure forming. There's our structure. We have a level here. It has not really, we have had a fairly decent test at that level, but then we close below it on the next bar. So we see how this bar behaves at the moment. So this level currently is 103.709. So it is starting to look like we're looking for some dollar strength here. It looks like the dollar is fighting somewhat, and obviously diagonals are also important. You can see that slap bang in the middle there. So this is not something I want to be trading. Looking at the 8 hour and the 1 hour basically confirms that we are heading sideways at the moment. So let's just get rid of the diagonals, because those are the ones that are going to confuse us. We'll leave that top one in because that is a trend line we need to pay attention to. So where are my levels? My first level at the moment is what we're flirting with right here, and that's 103.771. So when we are sideways like this, and when we've got the moving averages sideways, there's no reason to be short or long at the moment. So obviously what we're waiting for is to see what transpires right here where we are. Early morning noises at the moment. So see what transpires right in this area that we are now. If it succeeds, then we expect to move to the downside. You can see we've had a crossover, so odds are favoring a little bit more to the downside right now. but yeah, if you look at the diagonal trend line here, you can see how we're flirting with it at the moment. So I will wait for that consolidation to finish. So break the upside, retest the top of that consolidation, start looking for longs. We should see everything pointing up. Break the downside, come back and test it, then we should get confirmation from the downside. So that's sit on hands until we break either through 103.947 or alternatively 103.651. Euro Aussie dollar. So this one we tried to work with a trend on Friday, but didn't quite work out. We got stopped out, and you can see the 8-hour trend line, the 8-hour was support, hoping it's flipped into resistance. That's the first thing we need to pay attention to. And then there obviously is another one here. This trend is down. You can see on the 8-hour we are definitely trending to the downside. I don't want to be short when my oscillators are all grouped to the downside. They are moving back to the upside, so I should be looking for opportunities higher up. So at the moment, Friday short was a short pretty much off this area here, and you can see we've shot up to get to the next level. You can see 155 coming into play again, moving averages. So not moving averages, but the oscillators were all grouped together, so it was a great indication. And here's a crossover when they are far apart. Okay, that's normally pretty violent, and that's normally an indication we're going to move back the upside. So I suspect what's happening here is we are busy with a potential trend change. So they don't happen overnight. They do take some time to transpire. And there is our trend line. We've had a break and a retest of that trend line. So at the moment, what we're waiting for is a fairly decent crossover. You should expect some kind of resistance here at 157.259, but have a careful look at what structure is forming here. We have a massive cup and handle, or alternatively shoulder, head, shoulder. So this is our level to watch, 157.259. Price action structure is forming quite nicely. A potential trend reversal here. Come back to the 8-hour and you'll see group to the downside. We are still very much in a downward trend, but you should be able to pick up the next level if you start breaking through these two levels here. Right, so that's levels there to watch. Obviously are right where we are right now. That's the first thing. First one is going to be the gap. Second one is going to be this area here of 156.950, and then you're looking for a clean break of 157.259. So this is another one to just pay attention to. It's either going to be a fairly strong move up on the 1 hour, and then we're going to hit 8-hour resistance and come back down to form a bigger 8-hour double bottom or some kind of price action on the 8-hour. Next one is British pound, Japanese yen. So this trend is clearly up, as you can see. We don't want to be going long when our oscillators are grouped like that, and we went sideways for most of the week last week before a pretty strong sell-off going into the close. Now what we're looking for is levels for support. So start drawing them in, and forget these levels at the moment. I suppose keep them in for they could be flipped into resistance, but at the moment they're not going to impact price. I'm looking for an opportunity to buy back into this, and if I remember correctly, this is fairly close. No, it was close. The close was on the 61.8. It's moving below it at the moment, so ignore Fibonacci for now. Right, so a couple of things are on the cards here. 8-hour, we are in a pretty solid uptrend. This is potentially a trend reversal brewing as well. We have broken through the 1 hour moving averages at the moment. We are still continuing down. I'm looking for an area where we're going to find support. That area still is a long entry for me, but I'll be watching the levels, and this is the first level I'm going to be watching is 141.267. We need to get it back above that and find support there for me to believe that it's going to continue to the upside. Alternatively, if we start rejecting up there and start creating lower highs, or lower highs and lower lows basically, that's going to be a signal that we should have a potential trend reversal, and I need to be short, looking for some lower down levels. So that's kind of the structure we're looking at. Watch these levels. The first one is 140.753 and the second one is 140.469, sorry, 140.469. Now, just a quick summary. Trend is up. It's clearly to the upside. We still have a fairly strong measured move here that is still in play. Okay, so that is the consolidation break retest. So this trend is still continues the upside, provided we don't get below 140.469. If we get below that, then we have a bigger trend reversal. So just pay attention to this on the 1 hour. That's the reason why you still want to be going with the trend, even though the 1 hour is indicating differently. Your high time frame is saying the trend is up, so you're looking for opportunity to ride with the trend. Okay, Aussie dollar, US dollar. This is another one where you can see a very clear uptrend. You can see we're well above all the moving averages. Crossover was way down here, and we have continued up in, well, for quite some time. Since November, we've been in an uptrend. So the longer the uptrend, the harder it is to break. And you can see what we are doing at the moment is we're busy consolidating. So getting the levels in here is fairly worrisome, because that's my first level, which is 0.77409. The next feasible level, and there's a couple of them, and I'm just going to put two of them in, sorry. So there's the first one, and here's the second one. So a couple of things on the 8 hour. We are above all the moving averages at the moment. We have broken the 33. We're coming down to 66 at the moment, but the 155 is quite far away. So look at my my oscillators at the moment, pointing down. So we are trending down at the moment. But as far as I'm concerned, looking at the Aussie dollar, this is really just a consolidation. We're going to need to flip below, well, a couple of things first. So we're going to have to move below 0.76667. 0.76667. We're going to have to move below that and come back and retest it. And even then, I'm not convinced that we're in a downtrend, because we've still got this moving average. So I find price probably comes to the next levels to try and find support. So that's basically what we're looking for. I just want to get rid of this level, because that's not a true level. That's really just the bottom of the consolidation phase. So looking at the hour, you can see last week was very much we were trending up, and then we kind of started going sideways. So there's still no confirmation. We have had a crossover, but look, we had a crossover here. And these things, typically where the trend is as strong as it is now, it normally happens 3 to 4 times before either continuing or moving to the downside. So at the moment, that's what we're looking for. Does look like a reversal. So obviously on the 1 hour, what I'm looking for is a retest of this area here of 0.77281 for another move to the downside. Now, in saying that, this could just be a range, so just bear that in mind. If this holds, so the way I would look at this is to see a retest of that area, and then I want confirmation. So I want price action off that level. So something like an inside bar or a pin bar or an engulfing bar, some kind of price action in this area here. So between 0.77409 and 0.77281. If I can get that, and the moving averages stay pointing down with the crossovers, that would be an indication for a short. But obviously, I'm just going to use the box here. That previous swing low is technically the bottom of my range. So it would have to get through that as well. Okay, so it is very much sideways. So that's what I'm watching for, is to see that, is to see if it flips. Now, A dollar pair is looking, yeah, it's looking a little bit like the dollar starting to strengthen. It could be because we have Biden in. Remember, we've still got the inauguration happening this week. That's Wednesday, I think. And that's the first thing that it's going to be waiting for, because there's a lot of concern about violence at the moment. So once that's out the way and Biden starts bringing in some of his policies, then we should see the dollar take a direction. So I suspect it's going to continue sideways until that happens. Last pair is British pound, Aussie dollar. Now this, on the 8 hour, you can see we are testing our moving averages. Pin up, pin down, big down, big confusion. And there is a pretty clear level here. And you can see it coincides with the moving average as well. And that is 176817. This is a fairly big cup and handle. So look at the bigger picture here. The other thing that you do have here is I do have a trend line that is breaking, and obviously there's a couple other trend lines here. So this has been going parabolic. So you can see there was a trend, then the next trend, and then this was the next trend, and now we're starting to break those trends to the upside. So on the 8 hour, trend is clearly to the downside, but we are in a bigger range. If you look at that, okay, so could be a bottom, could just be a continuation to the downside, and what we're going to be looking for in the hour is evidence of either or. So at the moment you can see we've broken above the 150, tested it there, broke below it, haven't really tested it again. I would expect a retest of it sometime. So there is a gap here. Let's just get rid of the diagonal. There is a gap, and then there is quite a bit of structure here. You can see structure here, structure here, structure here. So this gap is going to be critical, 176346. And this one is a fairly interesting one, and I think the London breakout strategy would work on this today. So wait until 10 o'clock, then draw a range. Basically, I use a Fibonacci for that. So let's say that's the range. I've modified my Fibonacci for this, and you can see I've just added a range level, which is the height of the two here. So the open and close in the first couple of hours up until 10 o'clock South African time, that is. So that's GMT plus 2. So basically at the European Open. So you can either use the previous bar, or you wait for the first hour of the Open to finish. Both of them work. And that will define the range, and then you're looking for a break of that range, either to the upside or the downside. I think this gap is going to act as a magnet, so I wouldn't be too surprised to see the gap, see it come down and close. But we are above the moving average. Moving averages are kind of starting to point to the upside. So that is something that I think is well worth paying attention to. So watch this level. Okay, this is right at the gap, 176346. See what transpires. You may see something on a lower time frame as well. You see if price comes down, closes it, you see there is structure on the lower time frames as well, but that level is the one to watch. If it holds, I would expect another move to the upside, and that sets in motion a rather big cup and handle. And obviously we're looking for a break above 176817. Okay, so that's it for me today. I hope it helps, and as I said, I will pin yesterday's video into the comments below, and you should see it there if you need to have a look at it and maybe refresh yourself. Anyway, hope it helps. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will catch up with you bright and breezy tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.